Welcome back. Let's talk about SLAP. This acronym is useful for drawing really any part of the body, but especially helpful with the hands. So, the S is for structure, and structure is breaking down the hand into basic geometric shapes to make it easier and faster to draw. Every time you draw the hands of your characters, you don't have time to draw the bones and then the muscles, right? You need to break it down into simple forms so that it speeds up your process and helps you keep everything accurate and consistent. Now, when you're doing this, you need to remember that you want to start with the largest, simplest forms first, and the basic forms of the body can usually be thought of as either tubes or blocks. Think about this part of the arm as a tube, and think about the palm of your hand here as a block. Now, of course, the size of this tube and the size of this block are going to be decided by the proportions of your specific character that you're drawing. If your character has big, blocky hands with stubby fingers, those basic shapes need to reflect that. If your character has thin, delicate hands with long fingers, then those basic shapes should match that. Now, if you're drawing a somewhat realistic hand, the palm isn't really a flat shape. Notice that it's a little bit concave on the palm side and a little bit convex on the back. Now for the fingers. Your fingers have 3 segments each. The thumb is actually a little bit different. It's actually 2 tube-like sections plus a triangular block. Now the thumb has 3 carpal bones just like the fingers, but the innermost bone of the thumb is covered up with a very large muscle that obscures the tube-like quality. That lump has a cool sci-fi sounding name. It's called the thenar eminence. So that triangular block is shorthand for the first carpal bone of the thumb plus the main thumb muscle together, i.e. the thenar eminence. So you see here that these basic structural shapes are not random or arbitrary. They are based on the anatomical realities, there's that A word again, and the specific proportions, there's the P word, of your character. Now, speaking of reality, the L in SLAP is for life drawing. And unfortunately, there's no easy way around this. You have to practice observational drawing. I'm sorry, folks, I don't have any shortcuts for you here. You've got to take the time and practice drawing from life. If you really want to get better at drawing, I always tell my students the only way to do it, even if your goal isn't to be a realistic painter, even if you want to work in a really cartoony style, the only way to get better at communicating your ideas in a 2-dimensional visual medium is to practice drawing from life. Now the A in SLAP is for anatomy. And you might say, well, wait a minute, I'm a cartoonist, I'm not a med student, I don't need to know what's really going on inside my body. Well, if you've made it this far in this course, you know that I believe that the best way to arrive at a unique and convincing cartooning style is to base it on as much knowledge and observation as possible. There's an old saying, you have to know the rules before you can break them. Besides, it's actually pretty fascinating stuff and can even help you live a healthier life. I'll do my best to keep it as simple and as relevant to cartooning as I can. The first thing you need to understand about the anatomy of the hand is that it really starts at the elbow. Let's take a step back and remind ourselves that the limbs of our body are like chains originating at the torso and emanating out from there. In order to lift your arm like this, you have to flex your deltoid. In order to lift this part of your arm, you need to engage your bicep. And then to move your hand like this, you have to actually engage your flexors, or to point your fingers out like that, your extensors. The point of all this is that for the most part, the hands do not move as a result of the muscles in the hands. They actually move as a result of larger muscles that are in this part of your arm. And those muscles are the flexors and the extensors. Now, the hand does have some of its own intrinsic muscles, but those are primarily used to move your thumb or to move your fingers in relation to one another. When you are doing this with your hand, when you're gripping a steering wheel or swinging a baseball bat, it's really the flexors, again, in this part of your arm, that are doing the work. The P is for proportions. Just like with the face, it is the variation away from the standard that makes your character unique. Now, whereas with the face, You are maybe extending the jaw or widening the cheekbones, making the eyes bigger or smaller. When it comes to the hand, it's a matter of changing the size of the palm, changing the length and the thickness of the fingers. You want to be able to compose your comic panels, adjust your lighting and your camera angle, choose wide or tight shots in as many different ways as possible to enhance your storytelling, right? There might be a moment when you want the only thing in the panel to be your character's hands. Maybe they're desperately clinging to the edge of a cliff, or cradling a sick child, or punching through a wall. By giving your character's hands distinct proportions, along with other identifiable characteristics, you enable your readers to know whose hands they're looking at, even if everything else is cropped out of the panel. So if your hands are structurally consistent and emotionally distinct, the reader will know the who and the what and the how, even if there is very little else in the picture. All right, in the next video, we'll talk about expressive hands. I'm ready when you are, but first, let's talk about your assignment. Here's what I want you all to do. I want you to draw 5 hands from life. You can draw your own hand, you can draw a friend's hand. I would really prefer that you actually draw them from life, but if you don't feel like doing that, go ahead and draw from a photograph. Then I want you to draw those same 5 hands again, this time drawing them as proportionately accurate structural shapes, reducing them into blocks and tubes like this. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you hand in. Sorry, I had to do that. I know what you're thinking. Homework? Homework? What is this, school? Well, it could be if you wanted it to. That's right. If you want to learn how to get better at making comics, if you want to learn how to get better at facial expressions, anatomy, perspective, or anything like that, you can sign up at the link below and actually take a class with me. I have lots of different options. You can sign up for just one session, or you can sign up for the full program, whatever you want to do. So again, click on the link below, and I look forward to working with you.